On this week's show, are no money down deals actually possible?
In the news, Britain is on track for a recession.
And we're going to be answering all your property related questions. Welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Enjoy this week's show and don't forget to share it with all your friends. Hi, I'm Russell Leeds.
I'm Alistair Cunningham.
And welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. A question that we get asked a lot.
Yeah.
Like literally, I can't go about 2 minutes without someone coming up to me.
Space at an event, yeah, I know that.
No, just in general.
Oh, in general, so just down the street.
Knocks on the window. They're like, "Hey, Russell,
Knocks on the
no down
window.
deals possible." I'm like, "Yes," and then they close the window. And then a couple of minutes later, next person. It just happens all the time.
Does it?
I can't go 2 seconds without it happening.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of people say, "Are no money down deals possible?" And I remember, Grant Cardone obviously says that they're not, no modalities are possible. If people say they are, other people are unsure. So we thought we would clear it up once and for all.
I think it needs clarification.
Are no money down deals possible? Well, first of all, when people say no money down deals, you got to look at what they are, what exactly are they talking about?
Yeah.
Because immediately the thing that comes to mind is you go into you can't go into an estate agent and go, I want to buy that house and I want to put down 0 deposit. Boom. That is not possible.
Yep, not possible.
That would be cool though, wouldn't it?
Would be cool, yeah. I love that one, please, and I'm not paying you for it. Yep, 100%. That'd be banging. It's not happening though. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And the other thing that you've got to understand is when you're purchasing any property, there is always money involved.
Yep, always money involved.
So that's something else to bear in mind. So
doesn't have to be your money, but there's always money involved.
This is true. So with that being said, we run a program called Never Use Your
Own Money Again.
Yeah, never use your own money again. Not never use money again.
Yeah.
Never use money again. That is a different program. I've never been on that one.
No, never.
So it's never use your own money again. Now, so that's the first thing. So let's have a look at the different strategies because yes, it is possible to make money from property without using any money. So let's see how we could do that. And the fact that Samuel has done the financial freedom challenges kind of proves that it works. He goes like with no money, he gets deals. So it proves that it works. But let's have a look at the different strategies. So first strategy that you could use to do a no money down deal is rent to rent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you want to eloquently, so I can't even, so this is why I shouldn't be doing it, it's why you're doing it, eloquently explain what rent to rent is?
Yeah, sure, man. Rent to rent is where you take a property from an owner and you, with permission to let it out, you take it off them on a different contract and then you rent it out. It's that simple.
Okay, cool. So normally, obviously, when you rent a property, you rent it out to live in it. When you rent a property, you become the tenant. With rent to rent, you're renting it, but then rather than living in it, you're renting it out again, and you make your money by renting it out for higher than you're renting it for.
Yeah.
So you're acting as the middleman.
Good strategy is rent to rent and then converting it into a HMO. So we've just sorted one of them out. We've just secured one. So
yeah, which we're making around about what? 1,500 quid profit? Grand profit?
Yeah, probably closer to £1,000, but yeah, so, and guess what? No money down.
People will ask, okay, I understand how you can get the property, but how is it a no money down deal? Because, like, for example, if you're going to rent it out as a HMO, surely you've got to convert it into a HMO. So how does that work?
So you could do a joint venture with somebody that has got the money. So I know many people that have not got the money, but they've got the time. So they go out and they find the deals and they secure the deals, and then they partner up with somebody who can maybe invest £3,000 or £4,000 into the deal.
We're now looking at a different, because obviously you can always borrow money, but can you do a rent to rent deal? No money down. Let's look at the cost and then, because the truth is you can.
You can have done them.
But normally there is some small cost, yeah?
Yeah.
So you've got deposit is one.
Okay, then you need to learn to negotiate better.
I'm not saying that you're going to have to do it every time. Let's go through the cost and we can look at why it could be none. So you've got a deposit.
Yep.
You've got the making it ready to rent out costs.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be.
Yep.
And then you've got legal costs.
Yeah.
That's probably about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes £3,000-4,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the property that we're talking about, there'll be some costs. There'll be the conversion costs.
Yep.
There's no deposit.
No
Because we
deposit.
negotiated no deposit. So there'll be the cost of the contract.
Yeah.
So how much? So we're looking at?
Well, if you use On this one, we don't need to use a solicitor for the contract because it's already been sorted out, and we've got a very good contract we use. So the cost for conversion on this one is going to be a couple of £1,000. Like it needs a couple of fire doors fitting. It's a brand new property, so just need some fire doors.
Cool. So a couple of £1,000, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were going to rent it out as service accommodation, which is the other strategy you use for rent to rent, and it was already furnished to a high standard. You don't need to do any conversion costs.
No,
You don't put fire doors in or anything like that.
Fire doors, bit of linen, things. You don't have to do fire doors, but you need to prep it, bit of linen, bit of nice bedding, all that sort of stuff. And
but it might be fully furnished. Like you can rent. I have rented one that was just I didn't need to do anything. It was totally good to go. So you can negotiate no deposit. How do you negotiate no deposit?
The way I do it is. Look, you got to get creative here. If you want to get a no money down sort of secured deal, and you want to negotiate no deposit, you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. Do you know what I mean? You can't have it all your own way. So you can't have no deposit and then expect it to be an immaculate property. So the way I've done it in the past was we negotiated on a property I secured in Oxford, where the property needed. He was in the middle of decorating it, sort of painting the rooms. And just tarting the place up a little bit. So I negotiated that we would finish the decoration, but we weren't going to pay. He wanted 2 months deposit. This was before tenant fee ban. So he wanted 2 months deposit, which would be about $3,000. And he wanted a £3,000 deposit plus the first month's rent up front. So he wanted £4,500 there or thereabouts. And I said, look, I'll come in. I'll decorate the house to a high standard. We're going to dress it, all that sort of stuff. We're going to make it look nice, but you don't have to do any more of this work. We'll do it all. Now, he agreed to that, but I said, because we're going to do that, we don't want to be paying a deposit because we're going to be investing in your property. And he was fine with that, and he did. He negotiated a no deposit. We also negotiated a 2-week rent-free period. So I got the keys to that property with no deposit, and I had 2 weeks before I had to start paying rent. Now, the cost for me to finish the decoration was my time, because he'd already bought all the paints and materials. So, okay, I'm not going to say it was a 100% no money down deal, but I'm talking like £100 for a few bits of paint brushes and that from B&Q, as opposed to, I didn't have to buy the paint because he bought it all, and it was my time. So if you factor in my time, then yes, there's a cost. But like I say, in the early days when you're looking for no money down stuff, you're going to have to get your hands dirty if you want to get these no money down deals.
But you're talking, I mean, you can always negotiate, but you're talking very, very low money down. And I know people that have got credit cards, and then they've gone and got a credit card, $2-3 limit, pay for the little bits and pieces they need, got the rent in, pay the credit card.
Yeah, exactly. Because and even some of the small costs that you do bear, credit card. So it's not your money; it's the credit card company's money.
So if you do that, for example, look, there's always money involved. So I understand why people say there's no such thing as a no money down deal, because there's always going to be money involved. But what you can do with certain strategies, rent to rent being one of them, you can limit that right down to just and then you can either just put the money down if you've got a couple of grand, or you can use someone else's money, or you can use a credit card.
Right. I agree with you completely, right? But I am sick and tired of hearing this from people say that it's not no money down. It is. You can do no money down deals where you do not have to put a penny of your money into it. I know this because I've done it, and I know people that have done it. So if you're one of them people saying you can't do it, you're right. You can't do it, but many people are doing it. Get creative, man. You're in business. This is business, yeah? This is not a hobby. Start treating it like a business. Utilize how you expend your money. Stop getting credit cards for rubbish, holidays. Get credit cards and put them into business. Use a loan. If you get a loan, use it for business as opposed to buying a new car or buying some nice new phones or whatever. Start using your lending wisely. Now, I know so many people that have got credit cards for this. Paid exactly what you just said. Got a credit card, used it for the deposits, whatever else, and then paid it off when the rent starts coming in.
Yep.
And yes, it's not a no money down deal because money's involved, but it doesn't have to be your money. Now, the only people that ever say, oh yeah, but you've got to put money into it and you have to put money in, it's not no money down, they're generally broke. They're generally broke people that have got a broke mindset. If you want to be successful in business, you have to get creative and you have to start thinking outside the box, because unfortunately, unless you think outside the box, unless you get creative, you're never going to be successful. So get creative. Utilize credit cards, utilize loans. Who do you know has got money? Who do you know will lend you £3,000-4,000 to start that rent-to-rent deal? even if you kept 75% of the rent and they get 25%, you all know somebody, or you can all raise funding, because trust me, most people, when they want to get a new car, they'll find funding. When they want to get a new phone, they'll find funding. When they want to get a new iPad or a new computer, they'll fund it somehow. Start thinking about how you're funding things and start funding the correct things. As Robert Kiyosaki says, assets, not liabilities. Buy assets, not liabilities.
Which will be quite relevant right now. If Nick, you can put a link. We did a show, didn't we, about good debt versus bad debt a little while ago. So it'd be interesting if you're unsure about what he's saying, maybe finish this episode first and go and watch that one. We'll put a link.
It's annoying. We're in an age today where it's never been easier to borrow money. It's never been easier, man. It's so easy to borrow money. So just
rent to rent. So again, we do lots of training on rent to rent. And that's the crash course. You want to learn how to actually do that. But there you go. No money down deal. Right. Next, and I tell you what, we'll do one each. You can talk about lease options. Yep. I'll talk about buy, refurbish, refinance.
Yeah.
The other two strategies.
So lease options. Lease option is where you agree to buy it in a period of time, but you take control of it now. So yes, you don't own it until you've completed the purchase in 5, 7, 10 years time, however long you agree, but you get you get control of it now. I've done several of these. All of them, one very true story. One of them was no money down, no deposit, and 6 months rent free. 6 months with no option payments, because the property did need a little bit of work. And I just done that work, but I didn't have to pay rent. But there was absolutely no money involved in getting the keys to that property. Yes, I had to put a little bit of money in to get it converted, but for me to get the keys in my hand was no money.
And you could have rented it out in its bad condition, because it was
bad.
renting out.
No, it wasn't bad.
You just wanted to get
I
more
wanted
rent.
to get more rent, so I converted it to a HMO because it's mortgage free, and I wanted to get more rent out of it, so I converted it to a HMO.
How much did you put down altogether?
So initially, it was no money down to me. I put the legal fees, which was £1,000, onto my credit card. No money to me. It was money to MasterCard. Right? They paid it for me, and then that was it. Then I got the keys after paying legal fees, and then 6 months later, I started paying a lease payment to them every month of about £260.
But the thing is, right, is that so basically MasterCard paid it for you, but you didn't pay MasterCard back.
No, I paid
the tenants paid MasterCard back, because the tenants started paying you rent from no money you put down, which then paid off your MasterCard.
And I had tenants within 3 months, so I wasn't paying rent to I wasn't paying a lease payment to the vendor for 3 months, 6 months, sorry. But my tenants moved in within 3 months, and they started paying me rent. So I built up a buffer. That buffer paid the MasterCard off, that I used to do the refurb work, and the rest is now off. So I'm still a little bit with regards, because I chose to do it as a HMO and not a single let. I could have done it as a single let and made maybe £250 a month, but I do it as a HMO and I make £700 a month. So I would, do you know what I mean? That £500 a month extra I'm making, that's just going back to pay the MasterCard off that paid £4,000 for the refurb. Yeah. So come on, man, I get creative.
No money down deal. So there you go, lease options. Next, buy, refurbish, refinance. I'll give you an example of one I did. So got a property. I had to put 30 grand into it.
Okay.
I actually did it as a joint venture. So we went halves. So it was 60 grand all in altogether.
Okay.
We put 30 grand each, but the deal was he did the work on the property.
Yeah.
I borrowed the 30 grand.
All right.
So
no money down for you.
No money down, no work. I didn't do anything at all. He approached me with a deal, said, "Can you put 30 grand in? I'll do the work." So I did nothing.
Yeah.
He did all the work up. He did all the remortgage and everything. He gave me my 30 grand back. I gave it back. I had 17.5 grand extra, so I paid them off with their interest. I made money from it.
You put 30 grand in, you got 47,500 back.
Yeah,
not bad.
And now I own. Well, I don't own because they got mortgages, but they got mortgages on, but I've got a deposit kind of. I've got money tied up in 2 apartments because there was 4 and we had 2 each. So,
where are they?
They are in the Midlands.
Okay,
unfortunately. But don't hold that against them.
It's not their fault. It's possible. It is possible.
No money down deal. Buy, refurbish, finance. You put your money in, you pull your money back out. But if you don't put your money in, you put someone else's money in, and then you pull their money back out, it literally cost me nothing. Yeah. We're doing one again now. So we're building some apartments again. I'm not doing the work. I'm putting the money in. The money's coming back out again. Now, as it happens, I'm using my own money. But if I borrowed money, it would be the same principle. If you can be in a situation where you've got access to money, and then
investors and money. Yeah.
If you're putting money in, pulling the money out again, it almost feels like a no money down deal because you're pulling your money back out again. So you're not leaving any money in the deal.
Yeah, but that if it's your money, then obviously it's not no money down because you've got to put the cash down.
But the one I just talked about with the 30 grand, that wasn't my.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that one in the past, and it's a great little deal. It's like anything. Look, this is business. Treat it like a business, and if you treat it like a business and you start taking it seriously, you'll get serious results. And I said this a minute ago, it's generally the people that say it's not possible or the people that are never going to be successful. They're the people that are broke because they get one hurdle and they stop. They get to the first obstacle and they don't go over it because in their head, their head's telling them out. Their head is taking them out of the game. They're as many people say, that little person sat on their shoulder saying it's not possible.
Yeah.
Maybe if not for you, but it is for many people.
Yeah. I'd say rent to rent was the closest, or lease options, because both of those could technically be done for no money. There's normally some little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But if you can't drag together £1,000,
I'm just going to say, if this is going to go against a lot, but in fairness, if you cannot get a couple of £1,000 together, it's property even for you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I agree. But so yeah, no money down deals, yes, they are possible, but there's always money involved to some degree.
Yeah.
But it could be very, very small. And if you do it cleverly and use a credit card or something, here's the crucial thing we're going to finish on. You do not need any money in your bank account to start making money from property.
No, 100% agree. Fact.
Right, it's now time for this.
Okay, so in the news today, according to a lot of articles at the minute, Britain is on track for recession. A lot of the sectors are slowing down. In particular, the services sector slowed down by around 80% of GDP. So slowdown in growth, which is making alarm bells raise for all the big hitters, and it's an indication that recession is round the corner. So what do we think about that? A lot of people are talking about recession. It was looming, and they reckon mid-2020, don't they? Recession is going to be hitting.
Do they? The thing is, I suppose for me, I'm so used to it. Like I started my business in 2000 and when was I self-employed first? When was the big recession? It's about there.
2008.
About 2008. Yeah.
Same as.
So I got married that year. I had my own house. It's like, so I'm like really going for it through that. So for me, I'm kind of so used to it. It's like, we've been in recession, we've been out of recession. It never really affects me. I've done property investing in it. I've done it out of it. Every year I'm going like this, no matter what the economy does. And I know Samuel mentions this. You create your own economy, and I believe that. So for me, look, obviously we don't want a recession. But,
we don't want
one. But there's always going to be recessions. After recession becomes expansion.
Yeah.
After expansion comes recession. And it goes like that, doesn't it?
That's interesting that you, during 2008, you were doing well and your businesses were growing.
I wouldn't say I was doing well, but that's when I started.
Yes, that's when I started. I had a business. I had in 2007, and I hit recession 2008. 2008 was my best year. Wow. So when recession hit, 2008 and 2009 were my best 2 years in that business. Like by some as well. They weren't. So like everyone goes about recession and that. Look, I don't know if it's coming or not. Who does? I
think it hits certain businesses.
Yeah, but
I think it's certain businesses. So
I don't know if it's coming or not. We don't know. As a savvy property investor, you make money in recession or out of recession. You make money when the economy's up, economy's down.
You can make more money when the economy's down.
Yeah, because think of the bargains you might be getting. Now, yes, if people are going to be losing properties and things like that, then it's hard. But come on, this is business. I don't know.
It just forces you to be good.
Yeah, just
because in expansion, any idiot can make money.
Yeah.
That's the truth, right? And when everyone's doing well, and then in the recession, you see who the good people really are.
Absolutely. So
I don't think it's going to
look. It is what it is. If it comes, then just have to make sure you're educated, make sure you're getting creative, and look after your own business. Mind your own business. Look after yourself. Mind your own business. Don't worry about everyone else's business. Mind your own. Make sure you're doing the right things. Get creative. Get educated. and
keep growing.
Keep
Get your
growing.
habits in good, and you'll be fine.
get good habits, keep growing, and push your way through that recession.
Awesome. All right, it's now time for this. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we answer your questions. So if you want a question answered, you can comment on YouTube, and we'll try and get through some of them. And also, if you join the Facebook group, Property Investors with Samuel Leeds, we do sort of Facebook Lives now where we encourage you to ask questions, then we sort of scroll through there. So that's where we're at right now. So I like this question.
Okay.
I like this question. So we're going to answer on the count of 3. Okay? Let me read the question first, but don't say straight away. I want to see if you've got the same answer. Hi guys, I'm about to offer the crash course tomorrow. Oh, nice. 4-hour drive. Let's do this. Awesome. This is Brad Hart, by the way. Brad the Hitman Hart. My question is, if you only could use one property strategy for the rest of your career, what would it be? And these are your options. A, buy, refurbish, refinance. This is so relevant to today's show.
Yeah.
These are the 3 strategies we talked about. Well, Brad, you are amazing. B, rent to rent, or C, lease option agreement.
So
the 3
are we going to
no-me-down
answer it on
strategies.
3?
We're going to answer it on 3.
Buy,
refurbish, refinance.
Yeah. Boom.
There you go, Brad. Buy, refurbish, refinance is what we would do. Right, next question. Can I let a 4-bed property in Leeds as a multi-let if it's already an Article 4 area? Well, it depends on the property. So there's 2 ways that you could do it. Mostly no, but here are the 2 ways you get around it. Number 1, if that property had already been used as a HMO, then you have something called grandfather rights, and you can. Or number 2, you've got to apply for planning permission to the council and say, hey, can I use this property as a 4-bed? And chances are, it depends. How long has Leeds been Article 4?
Couple of years now, I believe, and it's not Leeds is not all Article 4. As I'm aware, there's only certain areas in Leeds, so obviously it's in an Article 4 area. That's fine. So
speak to the council. So it depends. They might let you if like HMOs have decreased.
If they've decreased in that area, they have like a percentage or that they have to go to. So
that they're your 2 ways around.
Speak to the local HMO officer.
There you go, Kyle. If you want to have a look on YouTube, get us prepped for the next question. Here you go. So, Kyle, I'm sure he's asked a question before because we weren't sure whether it was Gin or Gin, but we'll go Gin. Kyle Gin, any advice on securing a business loan as approach to raising cash from investors? Pros and cons. Are these questions designed for this show? It's like the no-me-down deal. So, business loans as opposed to raising cash from investors. Pros and cons of each would be handy. You got any advice on this?
Raising a business loan as opposed to raising cash from investors. Right. Firstly, it's very unlikely a bank will lend you money
to invest in property
unless it's on a mortgage. It's very unlikely. So I've got advice, but I wouldn't publicise it. Just because, look, it depends what you're going to use that money for and what you're going to tell them you're going to use it for, but obviously that breaks banking rules. But I know in the past what I've done. This is what I've done. This is not what I'm recommending you do. So just remember that this is what I've done. It's what I've done, not anybody else. So I needed to borrow some money in my old business, but I knew that if I went through the business banking team, it would take forever, and they'd want to see business plans, they'd want to see this, they'd want to see that, and everything else. So I rung them up. I rung up the bank at the time, HSBC, and said I would like to borrow some money because I needed to do some renovations to my house, and they lent me the money. I then used that for my business. So look, I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. That's what I done. Shoot me down if you want. I don't really care. That's what I done because I'm savvy and I'm creative. It's not legal advice. Do what you want to do, but that's what I done. So just to clarify, that's not legal advice.
Is that legal advice?
No, it's not legal advice.
Is that legal advice?
Or I'm not telling you to do that, and it's against all banking regulations. However.
So now you know exactly what Alastair tells you to do. You can go and do it. It's legal advice. You're fine. So Maximilian Hanson Brooks says, how do I secure a lease option through an estate agent?
With difficulty. No, you can, but you need to make sure that the estate agent is on your side, and that you know you're not. They know. Look, what does an estate agent want? Right? They want to sell a house and they want to get their fee. That's all they want. So if you can agree to do a purchase, even though it's a delayed purchase or a lease option, and the estate agent still gets paid their fee, it's likely they're going to work with you. I say this a lot. When you have an area, you should know all the estate agents and you should get friendly with some of them, because they'll be your best form of deal sourcer. They'll bring you deals that aren't even on the market yet, because they're dealing with the vendors all the time. So you just need to get out there and meet estate agents, get to know them, and tell them what you're looking for, and tell them that if they bring you the deal, you'll still pay their fee. They're not going to lose out. You're not going to cut them out of the deal. So yeah, that's one way I would do it.
Cool. All right. Next. Carla Sutcliffe, could you cover the differences between SA and holiday lets, please? I'm just trying to wrap my head around the idea.
I'll let you cover that one. It's your speciality.
Well, holiday lets is like a type of SA, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of difference. SA is just a little bit broader because obviously it would include other things. So, for example, renting a room in a house, or renting an apartment for a night, which obviously is not really a holiday let. But yeah, there's not a massive difference. Holiday lets are just a type of serviced accommodation.
Yes, I agree with that. It's just a different sort of strategy, isn't it? Like, so you'd have it by the beach somewhere or whatever. Okay, here's one that's just come up from SM. Do you prefer interest-only mortgages with product fees and lower rates, or without product fees but higher rates? Do you always add the product fee to the loan amount? Any help would much appreciated. So he's obviously looking at mortgages. Do you add all the fees into the amount?
I just do whatever's like cheaper, really.
Whatever's the cheapest monthly payment, or whatever less.
Normally less money. I mean, as long as it's like makes sense, the less money down is my.
And I would always, and again, speak to a mortgage broker. This is their bag. But all my mortgages are interest only, and I want to put as little deposit down as possible, and that includes fees, things like that. So I want to keep that as low as possible. And if that means adding the fees to the end of the loan, then so be it.
Why does Alistair have two glasses?
Yeah. I don't know.
What's your reason?
Oh, last week. It was last week, wasn't it? We had two. One was half empty.
It wasn't last week. It was the week before and the week before that.
Because somebody brought me a glass and somebody didn't take it away. That's simple as that. It's a simple answer.
Can you believe that? You just can't get a staff these days. When they bring you a drink, they don't take away your roommate. No, because they both had water in. They were both half full.
So why is
that? I know why it is. I can remember. It's because...
It's good. It just shows you that you're an optimist, because you didn't say they're half empty.
No, they're both half full.
Half full,
I told you that last week. So the reason was because Nick made him a glass of water and left it on the table. But then Danielle made him one before he came in. So he came in with a glass of water and put it down on the table. And then he just randomly was drinking from both of them, which was like, because he wanted them both to be half full.
Yep, half full. Yeah.
So
here's another question. And I found this quite funny, this question, from Masked Financial Hero. Is it me, or does Alistair's body language say he is not happy moving into London?
I liked your answer.
It's you. Yeah, it's you, bud. It's you, unfortunately. Are
you happy about moving to London?
Love it, mate. I love it.
Me too, man. It's freaking great.
Love London. It's just awesome, isn't it? It's
amazing.
It's amazing.
That's why our body language, our energy is so high right now.
Yeah,
it's just amazing. We are tossers, aren't we?
Yeah, complete tossers.
Right. Any more?
Okay, right.
Last one.
CSH Guitars. So, good video, but would you not buy your own property on a residential mortgage, meaning the deposit is about 10%, not 25%?
If it's your first one.
But as a residential.
Yeah.
So as a residential mortgage, you can get mortgages up to like a 90% LTV. So you don't have to put 10% deposit in. So that's good. You wouldn't need to put a 25% deposit down unless you wanted to. Many people do. You can choose your deposit, really, but the most you'll get lent is up to, I think, 90%. I don't think there's any higher than that in the UK. It's not like in pre-2008 when you can get 110%.
Yeah, it's very true.
So
guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We're back next Saturday at 7 p.m. Do not forget to check us out. Subscribe to us on whatever platform you're watching this on. Or if you're listening on, that'd be great as well. See you next week, guys.
See you guys.